Alright, we're going to be watching Fartnado, who's going to be playing Tracer on Watch Playing to Gibraltar. This is Gold 2, and it's on PC. Hello, I've been bouncing between Plat 5 and Gold 2, and I really want to improve my game. I feel like I play decently here, and I still lose. I don't know what else to incorporate into my gameplay. I take flanks, I try to time my engagements with my team, I keep supports distracted for the majority of the fights, and I clean up easy kills. If anyone could offer some advice, it'd be greatly appreciated. One mistake I did notice is that I would ego sometimes and try to force a 1v1, which wouldn't guarantee a kill. Other than that, I can't really tell since my game sense isn't that good. Thank you. Okay, so there's also a tiny bit of Bastion and Pharah in this game. Though the Bastion part's like actually pretty meaningful, but you play well on them, so it's like not really a big deal. But the Pharah section, you play poorly on Pharah, and it is a big deal because it's the final section of the game. But anyway, let's talk about Tracer, right? Because the focus here is on Tracer. So I've seen this game already, and I think there's a lot of good things here. I think that you generally understand how Tracer is played, right? I think you generally are taking good paths. I think your routing, right, pathing is really good. I think you decide, hey, you take the right spots in terms of like how to get around, how to get close to the enemy, and so forth, right? I think that stuff looks good to me, right? I would say that stuff is definitely above average for your rank for sure. So that's the good side. I would say that your ability, your aim is okay. I would say it is average for your rank. Weirdly enough, I would say it's actually less of a tracking problem and more so that you often start shooting about a quarter second before your crosshairs are on target. Like you shoot a little bit early. And considering the fact that you fire all your ammo in 1 second, losing out on 25% of your damage is a big deal. And we're going to see some examples of that. So I think your aim is okay for your level. I think that you definitely are not used to being punished, and we're going to see that a lot. You're going to get away with it a bunch, especially early on, where you're not going to die. But later on, you start getting punished more, especially on Pharah, where you just really underestimate how good the enemy aiming can be, even at this level, and then you just get blown up right away for it. And I think that's a problem, and it's going to start costing you down the road. So I think just like kind of dying / getting taking damage you shouldn't because you don't expect to is a problem. I think you get forced out of your position somewhat easily, sometimes from making bad choices around like how to take the fights, and we're gonna go through that as well. And I think your ultimates are okay. I think that you definitely it feels like you've practiced pulses. Like I think you stick like a little over half of them, which I think is okay for your level. It's not like great, but it's not bad. So I think it's like about average. So when we put all of this together, what do we get, right? We get a player who, generally speaking, feels about average, right? You don't feel like someone who deserves to be a lot any lower. I don't think that's fair. But I don't think that you deserve to be a lot higher based on your skill level either right now. And this is important because why do we care about deserve, right? Deserve is from my perspective measuring what is the value you're delivering in any particular game on average. Okay? If you're delivering great value, right, you should be winning a ton of your games. Like you're winning 75% to 90% of your games if you're delivering great value. If you're delivering poor value, you're winning like 25 to 45% of your games, then you should go down in rank. You feel like you're probably maybe a little bit above the skill level of this lobby. Like it makes sense that you're at gold 2 and like you probably like maybe gold 1 or plat 5 is like a more stable point for you. So you're probably a little better than the average player in this lobby, but you're not like way better to the point like this is well within the realm of like random chance. So all in all, I think your total package, I think your game sense is a little bit above average, and I think all the rest of your mechanics are basically about average, which means you're kind of stuck here in this weird spot where you're not really able to move up very much. There's another really important point here on a macro scale level, which is I don't think that this is a good map, A, but I don't think this is a good composition, B, to be playing Tracer against. And that's really going to set you back. And I think you realize it in your final push where you have more time than the enemy team, but you're not able to get it done. And you realize Tracer's are really not working out for you because you can't really get the angles that you want and the engagements that you want. A big part of it's because of the Torbjorn and the fact that your team doesn't really have a good way of dealing with the turret in a lot of the places that's set up / the comp that you're in. So you just take way too long to get anything done, right? And I don't think that every game you play looks like this. Like I don't think you face Torb in every single game. So what tells me is this is obviously just one review, right? On one map where I don't think Tracer's particularly strong on this map, right? I don't think Tracer's strong here on offense or defense on frankly any of the points. I don't think it's unplayable, to be clear, but I think that if you imagine your average win rate at Tracer 50-50, I think Watchpoint Gibraltar has to be like one of the points where I feel like Tracers perform worse than average. Like they're more likely to lose than not. Like maybe it's a 45% winner on this map, just because the nature of the map is not like it's very vertical, right? For example, you're gonna run this problem later when the Reaper takes the shuttle. How do you force him off? You can't. Like you don't have a way to get up there easily. And the one path you do take, the Reaper is waiting for you. He immediately forces you out, and then you just don't do anything. So you go stretches of this game where you're staying alive and you're kind of like annoying people, and and you're self-sustaining, you get health packs, etc. But like you don't get anything done, and you ultimately don't stop the push. But if you look at the enemy DPS, they're doing things like popping ultimates and getting kills, and you can't get that done. Like you clean up, as you say, the easy kills, but at some point you got to get a hard kill in order to move things forward, right? Somebody has to get that very first pick. Is really, really important, right? That first pick is what like starts the domino effect of ultimately winning a fight. Somebody's got to get that first pick. Sometimes you get the first pick from nothing, like solo kill it, basically. And we're not really seeing that, Like, you do get kills. They're heavily opportunistic, and, it's kind of interesting. And there's a lot of factors that go into this. Anyway, so that's just kind of a forewarning, right? As we try to talk through this replay, as like what's sort of going on here. It's not any one thing, right? There's nothing that jumps out here and we're like, oh wow, this is like the biggest thing that's holding you back. Which if you've seen any of my other Tracer gameplay, or like reviews, which might be very helpful for you. Like sometimes there are other places where it's like, look, your aim is phenomenal. I just did one recently, right? So for I think it was No Maheo, who was I think also was gold and has now climbed up to like low diamond or something like that. So where their aim was excellent, but their game sense was a big problem, right? So like as soon as you fix the game sense, it ultimately completely accelerated their climb. And for some Tracers, like their game sense is decent, but their aim is terrible. And I'm like, look, you really need to improve your aim before anything else really matters. You're kind of like in the middle where like everything here is okay. I think your aim sense is a little better than your aim, but yeah, we're gonna see. Obviously, long intro. So I like the direction you take. Great, you take the left side. That's good. Looking for opportunities, you go high ground, that's fine. So, double blanking here, okay, that's fine. So, just thinking for a second, what's your goal right now? Well, your goal right now is to scout. Because you don't actually know what any of the enemy positioning is. You don't know what the enemy heroes are, right? It's just the very beginning of the game. You're not going to know for those 6 seconds on the scoreboard. So you should be like, hey, look, what's kind of going on over here? And it's okay to just come up here and just poke the D.Va a little bit, because this is okay damage, right? Right here, you're probably doing about 100 damage to D.Va. It's not terrible. So you can just poke at the D.Va and use the opportunity to scout and be like, hey, what do they have? Because depending on what they have, it could change how I want to take the fight. So just scout right now, because you don't actually have any information. Like you tap right there and you immediately stop. But why? If you wanted to avoid or losing the element of surprise, you already shot anyway. So they already know, like everyone on the team heard and saw the shots, so they know that you're over here. So the element of surprise is lost. So you might as well just finish the clip here, farm a little bit old charge, kind of burn down the D.Va a little bit, and then figure out like, hey, take that opportunity to look and be like, look, what do they got? It's like it's like the example of like a little inefficiency. Like in the grand scheme of things, probably means nothing, but those things add up over and over and over again. Where there's like a little bit of errors, like constantly, where I'm like, you could have gotten more error. So your Maga's gonna dive in and die here, and there's basically nothing you could do here. I mean, I think this is a reasonable setup period, right? You really shouldn't be already over here, and you're getting over. Maga's gonna dive in, and he's immediately gonna get slept, and he's gonna get naded, right? And then he's gonna die. Nothing you can do about this, right? It just is what it is. It happens every single tank. They try to engage, right? This is a good reason why you should scout, as all heroes, is he obviously did not know that there was going to be an Ana, / everyone's going to be set up like that, and / D.Va, and he's just absolutely blown up, and that was obviously a terrible idea. But he's going to still do okay the rest of the game. So I wouldn't say that your tank's throwing anything like that. I don't think they're playing well, but it's not unplayable. But obviously that happens, and then from here your Mog is dead, and you're like, okay, you wise are like, look, I got to back out here, which is fine, right? Reminder, there is a mini health pack right over there. So I don't know how many hours of Overwatch you have, but like we're gonna see you miss multiple minis in the game, which makes me wonder if you're actually relatively new to Overwatch. But you should definitely get that mini. So this is your first real like, hey, I get a chance to shoot somebody. So right now the Genji has his back turned to you because obviously he was looking for you, but he finds the Moira. I think everyone would agree that the Genji is actually in grave danger right now. Between you and Amora squeezed on both sides, he cannot deflect you because he's not looking at you. This is a great opportunity to just unload a clip on him. So, Tracer Clip does about 245 damage. It's not enough to one-shot 250 up here without headshot. Let's assuming perfect accuracy on body shot, right? But, like, you should be doing easily 150 damage here. I think even in upper gold, I think 150 damage is reasonable right now. I think that if you were in platinum, I'd expect like 175 plus. And I think if you were diamond, you're hitting 200 damage here, no problem. Right? That's just before we factor in like the melee. This should be a very easy, not necessarily kill, but a ton of damage. You should definitely be low right now. So let's watch your aim here. Okay? This is a problem. I forgot to turn on Epic Pen. But this is a problem. You're already shooting your ammo and not on target. And we see 10 out of 40 ammo, as I mentioned, about 25% of your ammo gets fired before you're on target. All you do is be patient here. It's not like the Genji's like instantly going to escape here. You have plenty of time. He has no dive or a dash angle here, right? He can't get back to safety. If he's in here, yeah, maybe he can get away to safety here. But here he has to climb up before he can dash back to his team. So you have time here to just lock on target before you start shooting. And now we see you fired 16 ammo until you hit your first bullet. So then finally your aim is like okay, but then the rest is off. So despite the fact that this is like one of the easiest possible lineups that you could get in a situation where the Genji just drops into you right now, and you know it's coming, like you hear it, you're looking for it, which is good, it's good awareness, but the aim is wildly off here. And this is, I think, one of the worst aim moments you had in the entire game. I think the rest of it looks better than this. But it's a symptom of the problem, which is no matter what game sense you have, no matter how much coaching you get, if you're in the right spot, in the right position, targeting the right person, if you can't hit the shot, your impact's going to be very little. Because this really should be a pick. You know what I mean? Like, the Genji's already lost almost 100 health, and you did basically none of it. This should easily be a pick in the situation. But you just don't have the aim, and the opportunity's lost. Okay, you get the mini. So let's think. Where are we going? Okay? Obviously, there's going to be multiple possible angles here. Really wish I put it back now. So you have this angle, right? This angle, and then underneath. I would note that underneath, you also have the option to take this route and flank behind them and control this room, which is actually quite strong. You're not likely to get a kill here, but it's very annoying for them because they have no idea when you're going to contest, and they can't possibly force you out of that spot really easily without the D.Va coming. So, right, you get it this way. Now, we know our tank is dead, and we know our tank is respawning. So, let's just think for a second. Our tank is respawning as Maga, which we would know. Where's the Maga going to go? Well, there's two options, okay? Option one, he's going to sit on a cart and just go down. Now, just from a general game sense perspective, I'm going to assume the Maga's not going to do that. Why? Because we just saw our Maga just, like, send it, like, Hail Mary through a few seconds ago without knowing any information. So our Maga is clearly going to play aggressive, right? He's not a passive tank player. He's much more likely to be an aggressive tank player. In which case, where do we think our Maga's going to go? If he's not going to go here, is he going to go all the way over here and push? Probably not. Again, he's an aggressive tank player and probably an impatient tank player, which means the most likely route is he's going to go in here and re-engage from this side again. In which case, why are we, the most mobile hero in this lineup, why are we giving up this angle to go back over here? You see what I mean? Like, all of a sudden, you've gone from the off angle, which is where you should hold, because you can hold here definitely, right? You have a mini health pack and you have Moira. You can sit here all day, just keep peppering them, not for a ton of damage, but just waiting for your Maga to engage, and when your Maga's in, then you go. Right? That's what you should be doing, and that's what you started doing, but for some reason, right now, you decide, hey, look, I'm kind of bored of this. Maybe because you feel like the Moira's there, but the Moira's not really, like, Moira doubling up with you is actually a good thing, because you can get sustained there. And then you decide to rotate over here, which is confusing. Because now you see the Maga, as I expected, would go up this way. And obviously, I've seen the replay, so I know the Maga's going to do this. But I'm telling you, if I was in the game, this is exactly what I would expect. This is what I would do as a tank, too. Why would I go all the way over here and push when I have this option right here? You know what I mean? Nothing changes from being on this side compared to this side as the tank, other than the fact that it takes me longer to set up. So you're going to stack on the Maga here, which I think you realize, like, wait, I don't want to go to the door, which I think is fair. And now you see the Maga's pushing in, but you should be here. You should be right here blinking in as the Maga goes in, and then you focus whoever the Maga's focusing and you get a kill. That's what you should be doing right now. But instead, you're like, oh, shoot, I'm in the wrong spot, and now you come back out. And all you're doing right now is you're wasting time, right? Like, this is the kind of stuff that's sort of killing you, is like, you're just kind of bleeding value by not being efficient with your time and with your actions. So Genji's out here. Right, he dashes in. I think this is a fair rewind. I think there's a chance that you could risk it here. So you're not actually below 90 health, so he can't one-tap you as easily here, right? Certainly not instant one-tap, he's gonna at least get the Shuriken in. But I think it's fair to rewind right here. So look for the Genji. Yep, I think it's fair. Yep, great, he dies. So we got one here. Looking for the D.Va. which is like, okay, I think the Diva's not going to get DMEC'd here. You know the Ana's high ground, so you can also push that side, but I think it's, if you want to follow Diva here, try to get DMEC, I think that's reasonable, because the Diva is alone. Get the Torb here? Great. But like, is this a high skill kill? It's not, and I think this Torb is going to die anyway, probably, right? Because the Mog is about to slay on top of him. So like, technically you get this kill, but like, you don't really deserve this kill. You don't really do anything to generate this kill. It's more just a misplay from them. I have no idea what the Torb is in here. So, fine, is what it is. Right here, go ahead, get the DMEC. Right, now you're low. You're obviously trying to stay alive because you don't have rewind. Okay, and then we're gonna, I think, clean up here. Be fine. Okay, so you're sitting up here, so it's good setup, right? So again, a lot of the positioning you do, other than that weird double up when you went the same size as Maga, is good, right? Like, you're thinking ahead, you're like, look, what is a good spot for me? Trying to be set. So there's a Winston, and you should have known right away that there's a Winston. Because so whenever things are like that, whenever you're in this lull, we're like setting up right now, I literally just hold the scoreboard button, right? I just hold tab right now, even when I'm blinking, I just hold tab because I literally have things to do. And I'm not gonna miss this jump. Especially when you play like Hero Up, even with the scoreboard like filling my whole screen, I can maneuver anywhere in a map with no problem, with any mobility skill without worrying about it. Maybe not like Ball, I think Ball would be a little tricky. But for like vast majority of heroes, I'm not gonna miss this jump with scoreboard open, so I'm opening the scoreboard to see, hey, is anybody in their team going to switch heroes after they die? Which is very, very common, especially at the first fight. Because the first fight, people play without any information. After the first fight, people have some information. They know what the enemy hero lineup was, they know how the fight went. So it's very common for people to switch heroes after the very first fight, especially tanks. So you should know there is a Winston here already. Why is this important? Because I don't want the Winston to burn anything out of me. In particular, I don't want him to burn any health. If I have to trade one blink, that's okay. But I don't want him to do a ton of damage and force me to blink out. So when you're setting up over here, you can hear the Winston right now. You can hear the footsteps of the Winston. I hear the dun-dun-dun-dun-dun of like the Winston, gorilla arms. And I should be ready. Hey, as soon as the Winston goes, I'm out of there, right? I don't want to take any of the damage from this land. But as this jump goes up, and we hear it, and keep in mind, this is not simply reacting to the jump. I would already know the Winston is there, and I think it's very likely that the Winston jumped me. If I'm the Winston coming out of here, and the Winston hears you here, and knows there's a tracer in the game, and there's a Mog in the doorway, he's going to jump up top. So he's going to force me out of this right away. I don't want to take any damage. Okay? I do not want to take damage here, but instead, Winston lands on top of you, and now you've taken 50 damage right there, and now you're down 70, 80, almost 100 health, right? I was doing math from the original 150 health. So you've done almost 100 health right now for Winston that you should have known had been switched to, heard coming, and saw engaging on you, and you still didn't react to it. And this is going to be a problem. Like, do you die for this right now? I don't think so. I don't remember you dying to this. But, like, this can't happen if you want to play Tracer at a higher level. You had so many opportunities to know that information was coming and to react accordingly. Because what you really could have done here, if you want to do that, is you could play over here and just see and just wait. Like, look, hey, Winston coming, as soon as he's in the air, immediately blink away, right? Then right here, great. This is an excellent position because now the Winston has no jump. He has to walk through the doorway. I'm lighting him up for 240 damage right now, plus headshots, just like blowing him up. And the Winston's decide, hey, do I pop bubble right now? In which case he doesn't have it when he contests point. Or does he go point and then pop bubble, in which case I've already done 200 something damage to him, which makes it a lot easier for us to kill him. Now, again, you actually end up capping this anyway, but you didn't know that was going to happen. So there's a lot of stuff here which is just like kind of suboptimal play, right? We see that coming out where it doesn't feel like you know exactly what to do in response to certain stimuli. So notice, again, you could be aggressive right now. Ideally, if you had health, you could be aggressive. You could drop down here, you can contest the Genji, right? Kill his turret, go after the supports, whatever it ends up being. But because you're waiting for health right now, which is reasonable, you're not able to push. But you're missing health because you made a mistake against the Winston. Alright, so Winston's here. Alright, so good. We're gonna leave right away. Don't even bother shooting the bubble, it's not worth it. So right now, you're actually not gonna do much damage from here to the Winston. So look at the Winston. How much damage do you think you're gonna do to the Winston here? Right? From 0 to 250, right? It's like about 245. From 0 to 250, how much damage do you think you're gonna do? Well, let's watch. Your tracking is basically perfect, okay? So, how much damage did you do there? Let's run it again. Right here. I think you're shooting right now 427. Okay, 427. That's your whole clip. You just did 36 damage to him. That's the problem with damage fall off and spread for Tracer is it's just not worth it engaging at this distance. And I know it seems like such a silly little thing, because like maybe you don't have anything else to do, which like might be true, but I'm just noting it's like you don't want to be shooting people from this far away. You just don't do any damage. Like your tracking's fine. You just don't do any damage. What I want to do is I want to be down here. Why? My Maga's in. Like my Maga's already fighting right here. I could be down here. Even though 100 health, I could be down here fighting, focusing somebody, destroying a pylon, destroying the turret, getting ready to attack here, taking Mega Room. You have so many options right now. Shooting the Winston, who is already like going to escape for sure, is just not a good use of your time. Right. Now, you're going to use this opportunity to go over here, which is, I think, is reasonable if the Maga wasn't already engaging. Because ultimately, your timing has to be with the game, with the Maga, right? So see how your Maga has engaged over here, forced the Yari out, and then Pilot or Knockback, whatever the heck it's called. What? This is what happens when you take a little break in Overwatch. What the heck's the ability called? Her Outburst. Outburst. I feel like it's called Outburst. Anyway, he's already forced Outburst out, right? And then you have the opportunity to like go after this, except for the fact there's a turret. But that's kind of a Tracer versus Torb problem, right? The turret is obviously going to be an issue. But like you could be here trying to engage on the yard, and you can see like Sleep Dart is forced here. Like everything is forced right now. Where are you? Well, you're setting up over here. You're going on your own timing, not your tank's timing. Now, to be fair, I think your tank is being maybe probably a little too aggressive, but it kind of is what it is, right? The tank also knew that the Winston was high ground. He's trying to get something done. I get it. You're not taking advantage of those openings, and instead you're trying to make everything happen yourself, which you don't have the mechanical skill to do. Right? Like, you're kind of watching this all happen, and you're like, oh, well, so much for that. But again, I think you had the opportunities to have followed up with it earlier if you hadn't taken that chip damage, if you'd been ready, if you knew what was going on. There's a mini right here. You're at 150, like, take it. You might be saving for late, but, like, take it. Like, you can get one-tapped by things really easily, so I would definitely take the mini right now. Another good example of, why am I shooting the Ana right now? Is the Ana, like, at higher ranks, the Ana's literally just not going to pay attention to you at all, because you can't do any damage. Look how little damage you do. Right? You just poke the Ana for 32 damage. Who cares? It doesn't matter. Now, you might think, okay, I'm going to follow up here, but now you're following up all by yourself, because your tank's dead, which means they have the really easy opportunity to all collapse on you, which means this is a really hard time to try to get anything done. I would note here, this Sleep Dart gets perilously close to sleeping you, which would have been devastating, because the Genji would have walked up and triple headshot you and then killed you. So, right here, this is an unbelievably close Sleep Dart. So, as a general rule for Tracer, when you see the animation or hear the animation for Sleep Dart, you should immediately blink or rewind. Okay? Right now, you can see she's going for it. You can hear it's coming. You cannot be strafing back into this. Also, in general, when playing against Ana, or playing against all heroes, you should expect, when are they going to use their cooldown, right? You fight Ana 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 times, you get used to the rhythm for when she's going to go for the Sleep Dart. She's going to go for the Sleep Dart right now because she's not actually in danger, and she has a pick potential on you, and there's no good fight about to happen. That's the reason why, I mean, I don't know for sure, but like I think it's a good play for the Ana to go for the Sleep Dart. It's all reward, no risk. If she misses this, you cannot follow up and kill her. Nor can anybody else on your team, because there's no fight right now. Conversely, if she hits the Sleep Dart on you, you're going to die, and then your team is going to have a stagger. Right? So, in your head, you should already know, and I know it's hard, right? Especially if you don't have a lot of hours of Overwatch, but like in your head, you should understand, like, this is not a good gamble for me to be taking right now, and I should have the mechanical skill to have dodged the Sleep Dart. It's not like she's right next to you. If she's right next to you, I get it. Like, somebody can be hard to dodge a Sleep Dart. You're really far away. Like, you have a lot of time to hear and react to the fact that Sleep Dart is coming. Like, you really should know. You tag right there. I see her lining up. She's not firing a dart. Sleep Dart's coming. I know. Any hero I play, I know right away Sleep Dart's coming. I also just stare at you for fun, right? They're thinking and lining up the Sleep Dart. All right, so you tag her a little bit. So you get tagged here by Torb. And this goes back to, what the heck is Tracer going to do in this situation? First of all, there's a Torb, right? And his turret's going to be somewhere, which is going to be annoying for you to deal with, A. B, if you even ignore the Torb, if you drop, you're hard committed, right? Like, you fight here, and then you try to get, like, either you rewind to the ship, in which case you only get 3 seconds to get a kill, which is a very, very small, you basically have one attempt to one clip somebody or do nothing, right? That's obviously not so good. Number 2 is, what do I do? Try to escape into this path, right? This is like very tiny area where they could jump high ground now and then seal me off, and now I have no way to get out. That's not good either. Or I could try to go all the way this way and play behind them, which is tough because this mini is actually really far away from the door. Like, think about how many blinks it takes to get here, and as soon as they come to that door, they can lock me out of this side and injure me, right? Or chase me down. it's just not great for Tracer. Now, granted, I'm not a Tracer main, so maybe Tracer players disagree with me, but I'm just noting, like, it doesn't feel good for Tracer. And I'm not telling you not to play Tracer. And if you're a Tracer one trick or near one trick, you should still keep playing Tracer because that's your best hero by far. I'm just pointing out, like, these are parts of the reasons why you will struggle on this map specifically, but that means on maps where it's not as bad for you, you should be much, much stronger. We should see significantly better play. And I don't have access to those games, so I don't know and I can't compare. But I'm just noting right here is like Gibraltar is going to be a hard map for you to play on, right? It's very, very vertical. You don't have, and you get hard committed really easily. So you get tagged here. You're down to 100 health. You try to push here, which I think is an interesting, questionable decision because the Genji's also lit up. Let's think about that, right? Genji gets lit up here. He's going to drop. What's the Genji going to do as he drops? What he really should do is he should spam the doorway just in case you push him. In which case, you suddenly get triple headshot right here. And that's it, right? And then you die. Like, this is kind of a weird choice. Like, you're pushing hard right now, but when you actually don't have the health and you're actually at risk of dying, like, this doesn't feel like a good risk for me either. Alright, so we're going to jump onto the top of the shuttle, sort of, or you jump across, which is fine. Now you're on top of the Genji. For the record, you're still missing health here. And I know it's because, hey, your supports aren't healing you, but, like, this is not a good lineup to be playing Tracer with. Like, the Moira obviously is not going to be able to heal you, and the Yari is, like, really far back, and the Paladin's over here, so you're not going to get any healing there. So, one thing I think about here is, what do I get in exchange for those heroes, right? If I have an Yari who's not going to be able to heal me as Tracer, I have to get something in exchange for the fact that I'm not getting healed. Well, you're getting damage pressure, right? The Yari is going to be putting more and more damage pressure, especially on squishies, hopefully on squishies, that you can follow up on. You don't need to do something yourself. You just need to synergize, like, oh, she hit a headshot? Great, now's the time for me to go and one-clip somebody, right? You don't need to be trying so hard to get something done here. Genji forces you out again. I think this was insane to not rewind right away. At 76 right now, so he is just barely out of melee range, but if he's slightly closer, melee dash would instantly kill you. Note that he has dash right now. The fact that you do this, like, the Shuriken's gonna kill you alone. Right here, so Shuriken's do 81 damage without headshots. Like, right there, like, it's not like you blinked in time. The Shurikens are actually past you by the time you blinked. You could have died right there. This is just sloppy, right? Like, you just aren't really thinking through, I'm obviously reacting, I should say, like, how vulnerable you are in those moments. And again, you're not getting punished for it yet, but you will later. When you start dying to stuff and you're like, oh, how did I die? I don't die usually. It's because this is really risky to begin with. All you need to be doing right now, as a general sense, is just holding the shuttle and staying put, right? And just like kind of poking people, not getting burned out. Don't trade your health for anything at this stage. Wait for your tank to engage, wait for Yari's, ultimate, whatever it ends up being, then you can follow up and do something. All right? Most important thing here is not to get burned down for any reason. Because then you can't follow up, right? So here's the ulti. Ideally, we would be in the shuttle right now with 3 blinks and rewind and healthy. And then we'd be, oh, it's their ulti first. Rough. All right, so their ulti goes off. So you jump on top of the shuttle, but, like, what's the point? Are you going to drop in their backline from here? Because obviously you can't damage people from this far away. But, okay, fine. You drop over here, and you go for the auto. Now, funny thing here, this is actually a rare time where it actually would have been better to stick the Winston. Because the Winston's clearly low. Like, you can see he's low right now, right? You could stick, shoot him, and then rewind here, and he's going to die. The Winston's at what? 306? Yeah, literally, even just a stick and a melee would kill him right now. But, yeah, I think that this is also just not a good use of... I don't know, it's tough, because there's a possibility for double kill here, but you also didn't know that double kill was a possibility, because obviously you had no idea the Winston was going to come back right now, and now you decide to throw it. But it's tough, right? I think if you stick the Winston, and you get a kill, it's a big play. But if you whiff, it's a terrible play. Because you put all your eggs into the stick basket, right? Versus, imagine you decided not to instead commit to sticking, but you dropped here and shot the Ana, right? Step back to juke the sleep dart, then shoot her again. Then you get a kill. Great. Like, that's more consistent. And if she lines up in such a way that makes it easy, throw the stick at her then. You're, like, already dead set, like, hey, look, I have pulse, I'm going down, I'm going to throw a stick no matter what. And I just don't feel like that was consistent, other than sticking the Winston would have worked. But you notice, hey, look, you've whiffed your ultimate, Genji's popped his, right? He's gotten the kill. All right, now he's killed 2, and the fight's already over, right? Because Genji's already killed 2. So, like, at this point, it is what it is. use the opportunity to get in their backline, which I think is good, right? Because obviously you're having a lot of trouble getting anything down from the front side. I don't know why you don't just get the Mega. You have plenty of time here. Maybe you're trying to spawn camp? Oh, yeah. If you're trying to spawn camp, this is actually a great opportunity. You should have read this right now. Like, this is worth fighting. Even if the Ana sleeps you all alone, she can't consistently kill you here. So, I think that this was... Unless you charge you first. I think this is worth contesting right here if you were going to spawn camp the Ana. But you then decide to go back to your backline, to your front line anyway. But that's fine. So, when we step in here, we see the Genji here, and we should switch immediately to the Genji. Like, the Winston is not going to die. He's way too tanky right now. Right? But the Genji could potentially have died. Right? This damage is obviously worthless. Winston's up here. Okay, he's going to force us out right away. Yeah, don't even get close. It's not worth it. Unfortunate. It already pops Cap the Sun and dies right away. So we're down one. So probably not what I can do here. You dodge sleep dart. Okay, that's fine. But remember, even get this kill, probably not going to work, but we'll see. Actually, I think you guys actually end up converting this. So, you go for the Ana, right? Good job using the other side of the barrier. Kill the pylon. Right, poke her down. Right, so this is good, right? But why is this successful, right? Why is this successful when not all the other pushes aren't successful? Well, number one, from a mechanics perspective, you manage to juke the sleep dart. Right? Because you blink right when she doesn't sleep, which is great. This is a huge moment. So this is a mechanical win for you, which helps force the Ana and drops her down. That's number one. Number two, your tank is engaging with you, which means everybody is shooting at the tank. Honestly, there's no reason for you to shoot the turret, by the way. That's the other thing I was thinking of. You should have dropped right away. Turret or not, just drop and kill the Ana. Like, you have rewind right now, so it's not, like, don't worry about the damage from the turret. Just kill the Ana. In many other scenarios, the Ana that'll be more than the time for the Ana to live. Alright, but from here, obviously the barrier is massive, and no one's looking at you or focusing you at all, and so it's easy to get easy kills from here. But again, let's back up and think through, hey, why was that successful when all the other pushes did not get a lot done? Number one, mechanical strength, right? Mechanically outplaying the opposition. And number two, synchronizing with your team, right? With your tank, they're engaged, and they're engaged at the right time. So just understanding, hey, what's my tank trying to do? What's the timing? It's important. But I think it's still not enough for you to get to win the point. Yeah, it's still not enough for you to win the point. So actually, I guess I was right, where it's not enough. Because you lost the ER at the beginning, which already made me feel like it's not going to be a one fight. Okay, you're going up, taking high ground, which is good. You see the turret. You can't do any damage here. Because of how big the spread is on Tracer and how little the turret is available, like, I know you see it, but like, this is not going to do any damage to the turret. Even if they weren't here, it would take you forever to kill at this angle. So, what should you do here? You get two options, okay? Number one, you can play this side. But number two is you can play under them, which is quite strong. Right? If you play under them, you can do a ton of damage, and they can't do anything to you unless they drop and commit, in which case then you have more counterplay options. Right? So, obviously, repoking this is like kind of tricky because the Torb is going to keep spamming this. You really could be dead right now. If the Torb spams again, you would be dead right now. You really should be dead, but the reason why you're not dead is because the Torb is reloading. I don't know if you knew that or not, but... Because I wouldn't have been able to track that. There's no way that I would know the Torb is reloading right now. Because you just run straight at him, and he would have just shot you in the head, and you'd be dead right now. So, very, very lucky. It saves... The Torb lives from overload, but it kills the Ana, which is also lucky. But it's a good stick. Right? Then you have an opportunity to kill him, but you decide not to re-peek it, because obviously you can die right there. I think this is like so dangerous. I think you should blink out diagonally and then finish the clip. Right? It's so dangerous to push right to a corner. A corner that someone's looking and spamming is way too dangerous if you're one-shottable to push. Like drive. Drive meaning not using an ability. But you go here, you kill the Torb, right? You drop right here. Unfortunately, the ER is coming. So, quick thought here. You hear the ER coming, right? I'm sure you wear a headset. So you hear the ER coming from the right. So you should already be in AD strafe mode. But you see that you're not. You're just running in a straight line at her. And I know you don't have blinks, but that's okay. Other heroes don't have blinks either, and they're able to dodge. You can't just run at a hero point blank like this that you heard coming. Right? Like, you're literally not dodging at all. Let's do it real time. This is a lot of time, right? For Tracer's like reaction times perspectives, this is an eternity to react to this. But like you're just running a straight line, and that's assuming you didn't hear it. Even if you just saw it visually, it's still more than the time for me to start dodging, right? The second I see this, I'm already start dodging, right? If I was going to the right, I'm going to the left right now. I'm immediately just gonna start dodging right here because I can die. But we don't see that, right? The reactions are just too slow, and you can't play what is the most reaction-sensitive hero in the game and not be able to do a basic dodge like that. Now, granted, she might still hit the headshot, but at least try to dodge, right? So this point, also a real problem for Tracer. It's very, very long angles. You get hard committed really easily. All right, D.Va comes in, obviously forces you out right away, unfortunate. So just chill, right? So one thing to think about is you're trying really, really hard to get something done and try to take space. But the team isn't ready quite yet, right? Like you can slow down a little bit and be like, okay, feel it out, see where it's going. Okay, now I know the D.Va's gone. Okay, now I can try stepping forwards because you don't get forced out again because now you don't have rewind. Obviously, dangerous doorway. So on it right here, I would blink right away immediately because this is going to be a hit, right? It's either a hit or a sleep dart. No matter what, I don't want to be in the spot that I just was. And now you're low. And now that changes what you can possibly do. And now you're trying to force the fight right here. But like this is a good example where like you just got chipped for nothing. Right? Right here, I already knew this is a bad idea. You know the Ana's there. The Ana knows you're there because you're walking. She hears it. She hears it coming. She has a lot of time to react to the fact that this is coming, and you just don't respect this. You're still walking forwards right now, and then you get tagged. And then you're like, now I'm low. The mini is responding in like a little bit, but you get too impatient. You're like, okay, now I'm going to try to force this to fight anyway, the exact same direction that you just came from, and the Ana's like, okay, cool, and you just get died with a grenade plus D.Va bump. Like, there's no reason for this to be happening, you know? Like, think about it from your team's perspective. If they're watching this kind of happen, right? Like, hey, our rogue guy's here, right, trying to apply some damage. And all of a sudden your Tracer's dead. You're like, I don't understand. This isn't even a committed fight yet. You know? Like, we're still in the poke phase. Why are you dead? You can only die. You're only allowed to die in the commit phase, right? When both teams are like, yep, this is it. Like, do or die. Like, we're going. You can't be dying when we're setting up. You know? This is like a big mistake. Again, I think the map geometry makes it really hard for you as Tracer to like figure out how to get this angle. Like, technically you have this close path, but it's such a short rotation period for the opposing team. All you have this mini to refresh yourself, which is like wide in the open. It's really hard to use this space. I think it's still the best option that you have, to be clear. I just think it's just not great, especially since they have a Torb. Okay, you're going to engage right now, but this fight's already basically over. Right. We popped ultimates to kind of counter theirs. Alright, so we're setting up again. Gone up here. So, Genji dashes. So it's good, right? You come over here looking for the Genji. Right? Great. Excellent. So this is good, right? You see the Genji go back. You know that he's going to be low. You try to go for it. I will note here that the grenade right here would have been very bad for both you and the Genji. So, like, while the kill is good, I also saw the Ana, because you know where the Ana is because she set up the whole time. I would have been very nervous about dropping right here between them. I would have tried to drop like here or blinked over here and try to do it just so I don't get hit by the grenade. Because let's say if grenade goes off, the Genji doesn't die, plus I might die before I can rewind. So you're around right now. Why would we take this shot this far away? As I mentioned earlier, you only did like 30-something damage to a Winston. You're going to do even less than Illari from this distance. Don't even fire this clip. You still have blinks. Like, yeah, you don't have rewind, but that's okay. You don't need to rewind anymore because your tank is hard committed and the enemy tank is dead. Just double blink over here and then shoot the Ana. Or if you really need to go for the Illari, like let's say the Ana's not in play, double blink over here and then shoot the Illari. Like now you can afford to be aggressive. Right? But you're just a little bit slow. You know? You fire this first partial clip and you're like, then you reload, now you finally go for it. And now we're late. I would also note this is actually a fairly easy kill. So she's actually pushed against the wall and like trapped right. She's basically stationary and she's got what, half health right now? Yeah, 125. You have 245 possible damage plus your melee, which is 290, and you still fail to get the kill. That's a problem, right? It's definitely a problem. Like, it's not bad for your level, right? This is about what I would expect a high gold, maybe low plat Tracer to look like. The aim is just not good enough. to feel like, oh, that's gonna pull you up, right? Because like either your game sense or your mechanics or both need to pull you up. One of the things they say, it was a fun saying they used to say back in the day, prior to Season 9 rework, is you get to Diamond, which is now Platinum, right? You get to Diamond by having either great game sense or great mechanics, right? But in order to get out of Diamond, you need to have both. But the problem is you're not great at game sense or mechanics. So like that's, you gotta figure out like what's gonna pull you up to Platinum consistently and stay there. Because like Platinum 5 is not really Platinum, right? You're just like right on the edge of Gold and Platinum. Plat 3 is like Platinum, and then when you get to high Platinum, you start going into Diamond and so forth, right? But obviously everything from here is clean up. That's great. So when we're in defense, you're gonna set up. I would note here is ideally you want to set up in a way that they don't know that you're playing Tracer as much as possible. One thing that I would think about is if you can minimize the amount of time they're visible. So the enemy heroes, if they really care about winning, they're gonna, as soon as they spawn and pick heroes, they're gonna step right here and they're gonna look out the window and try to figure out, hey, what do they got? So how can you minimize that time that they could see it is you could potentially double blink this way, or you could double blink this way, right, out to here, and then go down here and then blink this way. Again, they might still see it. This is the tiniest difference, but like, let's say this added 0.5% of win rate to your Gibraltar games. Probably worth it, right? Like, it can happen. Like, for plenty of times, like I play tank or something, and I see, or DPS, and I see what the enemy lineup is. I'm like, oh, they're running X. In that case, I'm going to run Y, because I'm much better at playing Y against X than whatever hero I'm currently at. And it makes a difference, right? It definitely can make a difference. All right, so back to, this isn't gonna do any damage, but like that's also understandable because what else do you have to do right now? So like this is okay, but if you think, oh, I'm annoying the backline, this does literally nothing, right? This is not gonna stop the cart at all. It's not gonna stop the Honor from doing her job. You're not a credible threat to anybody, so don't feel like this is doing your job. This is doing nothing. Again, you don't have a lot of other options right now. I'm just noting that this is doing nothing. So Winston engages. So one thing to think about is after the Winston dives and he misses you with a jump, try to empty a clip into him. So you see how you jump here and you immediately decide to drop, but I actually want the Winston to chase me because then I want to empty 240 damage into his face, which could be 350 plus damage, right? That's what you were looking for. Every little itty bit of damage that I can get, I want to take it because you're probably in getting a mini / rewind territory anyway. You're not one-shottable by Winston, so like, yeah, go for the damage, right? Ideally, you would have also heard the Genji fight and gone for that. So, Ashe kills Genji, you're back over here. Great. Now we're looking for an opportunity. This is a really good moment to be aggressive. So, Winston's retreating. So, one thing to think about is, what does the enemy team know and what do they want to do? And try to prevent them from doing that, right? Or play around that. If the enemy is pushing into you, it means they think they're going to win the fight, which means I should probably back up until like whatever advantage they think they have is gone, right? If the enemy's retreating, it means they don't think they can win the fight. Obviously, they would push us if they could, in which case, now I can be more aggressive than I normally would and try to get a kill. So you know right now the Genji's dead, the Ana's back is turned to you, and you know the Winston has also jumped away. So this is a great opportunity to go double blink and then one clip the Ana. And you can do it very casually right now, because from game sense, I know there's almost no way that I can die here right now, right? Like the odds of me dying here are like near zero, and it's worth it to get the stagger. But instead, you play it conservatively. But we have to know as Tracer, when do we play conservatively and when do we play aggressively? And that's what's hard about playing Tracer against like poke heroes. Like Soldier doesn't need to run out here to try to get the Ana kill. The Soldier can just stand here and he's still gonna get the kill on the Ana, right? Cassidy, same deal. Ashe, same deal, right? But Tracer, you have to know, like, look, when do I close the gap? Close the gap right now. This is an easy kill, right? She's just running a straight line away. Easy kill, easy kill. And she jumps. Right? That was actually reasonably good tracking on the Kiriko, right? I think like most of this is on target and it's at head level, which is great. Right? You see him going a little high there, right? And you lose track of it. But like that's okay, right? I think that's okay. I would say ultimately, I think you still need to be better than that, right? Because you still only do 100 damage to her, and you caught her by surprise. I think you still need more than that, for sure. I shouldn't say I think. You need more than that for sure. But like, it's the right general start, and you just can't keep the control of it after that. One thing to think about is using your instead of like moving your mouse anymore, once you're on target, use your movement to mirror their movement in order to make the aim a lot easier. Because right now, when she moves to the right, if you'd already been moving to the right, you could stay on target right now without needing to move your crosshair. Because then you see how you immediately go too far to the right and you flick. Yeah, so I agree not trying to challenge that. It's a bad angle. So Kiriko's here. You're low. Now you're slow. You have to rewind. Not rewinding here is nuts. I think blinking here is okay, but like she might chase you and hit the headshot here. Because like there's not a good route. Like if she went to the edge, you might die there. Alright, Kiriko has come to you, which is not so good. Again, not worth it to shoot. Right? She's a little too far away. But see, you see right now, she's turned away from you, which means she doesn't want to contest this. If she was still looking at me, I don't go through the doorway, or at least I don't go through without dry. But if she turns away, I now double blink and shoot her, right? And when she turns and tries to nade me, then I blink one more time, right? Finish the clip, melee get the kill, and then I rewind out. This is the example of like just higher level tracer thinking and mechanics combined together all really, really quickly. Okay, so when you come over here, you're gonna see, okay, there's an Ana here. Walking out. Great. My first thought is, I don't want to get hit by this dart, right? And I would have blinked already. But since I haven't blinked, and she's turned away from me now, I read her body language as, she doesn't want to contest this, which is correct, because it's you plus Kiriko, she could die here. So now, go for the double blink, start shooting, halfway through the clip, she's going to turn to rewind her nade, then blink to the side, then finish the kill. Right? Even if you don't kill her, you're going to force something for sure. There's no way that you could double blink to her, and she's not going to do something right away. She's not going to try to duel you with darts alone. No, not possible. Right? But now, think about it. Now, why am I trying to engage? Okay? Now she's on the cart, so the cart heals her. She's closer to her team, and she's staring at me. Like, right here, I could be eating a sleeper grenade for all I know. Like, it'd be too fast for me to react. So, like, that's the kind of stuff where it's like, look, you gotta think through. Like, just don't engage people who are looking at you. But when they're not looking at you, it's just like, people do this for what? Like wolves, right? Where they put eyes, you know, they wear the hats with the eyes so that people don't jump them. No, I'm thinking of lions. I feel like, mountain lions, right? Mountain lions, cougars, right, etc. So the idea being is like, hey, look, if you can see them, they're less inclined to attack you. So same deal here. If they can see you, don't attack them. Don't just blink at them and expect them to miss. You need to find opportunities to be able to engage on people where they do not see you coming. So this shot on the soldier, also a problem. Right? I know she starts sliding, but then you should immediately react, right? Track, all the way up. This is a complete whiff of a clip. And this is another one where, again, she lands on top of you, is not dodging you. This should be like 100% accuracy right now. But you just can't keep control of it. So I would not want to go this way because you had respawners coming this way, so this would make me nervous. Right? You get stuck in that doorway. Kiriko gets the kill, excellent. And you're gonna reset and go up top. Okay, fine. So now you see the Zarya. So I think you should have used the opportunity when you had it to cross the gap. Because when they come through here, you want to be shooting at them from two angles, right? Not everybody over here. You want your team over here. This is main. This is the off angle. You want to be shooting them from here. That's going to discourage them from pushing. But if you play with the rest of your team right here, and I know you're low on blinks, but like it's still worth it. Like you still have rewind. Your supports are here. Like you're fine. Like now you're like, oh shoot, and now you give up the space. But if you're playing on this side, you could slow them down a lot more. I don't even know where your tank went. Tank dropped. But you hear the Zarya coming. Back to sound, right? Sound's important. A, you hear the Zarya coming. B, you hear the Genji coming. I don't know why you're trying to contest this, right? This is a waste of your time. It's one of the relatively few moments where I'm like, this is like a very distinct from what Tracer should be doing. Your team does not need you to try to slow down the Genji and Zarya running it down main. This is not a good use of your time. No matter what happens here, it's going to be bad, right? You're going to get forced out right away. Now you're down, now you're super low, and now you're out of blinks. And it's not just the fact that you're forced out. It's the fact that you're not there to help apply pressure or capitalize on opportunities, right? Like these moments where you're walking around doing nothing are killing you over and over and over again because they use this opportunity to burn resources out, to take space, right? See, now Suzu's forced, and now this fighting's going up here. Look how low the Genji is, right? If you'd been around, you could have followed up on that. Now, that being said, you actually still have the opportunity to kill the Genji right now. You come back up, and you turn, and you hear deflect right now. And universal sound of deflect on Genji right? Especially when he's walking backwards, usually means that he's in danger of dying. It's just like Tracer using Rewind. So you should stop shooting the Zarya and shoot the Genji right now. Even if you couldn't see his health bar, which I don't know if you could or not in the game, but you 100% should be shooting the Genji right now because the Genji is so easy to kill and you have the audio and visual cues to know that. Plus, the Zarya's not going to die anyway. Even if you hit all 100% ammo here, the Zarya's not going to die. Are you kidding me? There's no chance. Even if you had 100% headshots right now, it still wouldn't kill her because of the headshot damage reduction. She pops bubble and she lives. Like, obviously, it'd be great value there, but you're not going to hit 100% headshots. It's not possible. So, go for the Genji here. Like, that was the actual opportunity. See, Zarya keeps chasing, and now you get forced out again. And now we go back to, like, hey, look, a stretch where they're able to keep pushing and take the important high ground. And yeah, you come down here, you kill Lucio. Again, you did basically nothing here, right? The Sigma did all the damage. And now they're able to push over the top. So, we're going to come back. Alright, Kirika dies. Venture on you, yeah, you rewind. Venture dead, yeah. Alright, your team is able to clean up for you. So, we're setting up over here, which is better. So, I think we're going too far now, right? Because you saw / heard these enemies over here, right? You see it, you hear it, right? You can see, hey, look, the Genji's over here. There's an engage that's going to happen at this doorway. We also saw the Zarya and team take this exact same path last time. So there's a very reasonable expectation that they're going to push and take here. Also, if you just understand Gibraltar, like, they have to take the high ground for Gibraltar for it to work. They can't just leave Baptiste up here shooting at everybody. It's not going to work. So you taking this long flank over here would have made sense when the cart was here, but it doesn't make any sense when the cart is here. Because now, you see they get this free engage in, and now where are you? Not there. Right? This is a moment where if you were right here, you can just blow up the Lucio, right? One blink to Lucio and do damage, you're good. Instead, you're all the way back here doing nothing. Right? Zarya gets out. Now, you go over here, you land a stick. Alright, great. So, we got a pick there, so hopefully that's going to be enough. Light the Venture up. Alright, go for the Venture. I really feel like you should have had this kill. Yeah, see, like, this accuracy is like sub 20%. You definitely should have the kill right now. This is the one I was thinking about at the beginning of the game. So the Venture's going to drop up to 113 health, right? She's going to get, or they are going to get a little bit of health from the situation. So, from shields from using the abilities. But like this, it should be an easy kill. But you actually whiff a considerable amount of this shot because you're shooting too early. Right? See? You see all those shots up there? Right? Then you finally lock on, and you're not like dead on in that point in time. So the Venture ends up living here. But like that's like a pretty easy kill. You saw it coming. It was telegraphed. I'm gonna duel the Tracer. There's no reason to walk forwards right now. Right? So the Tracer is like gonna be coming forwards right now. Your job is not, hey, let me hold the Tracer. Tracer can't do anything from here. Like Tracer only gets value here if you fight her. If you decide instead to, hey, look, go over here to shoot other people, like you can get way more value at this point in time. The Tracer's not in yet, which means that you don't need to fight her. You should be fighting people who are in, who are rolling your team. Because think about it, even if you kill the Tracer right now, your team is getting rolled. So, like, you need to be doing something about the fact that your team is getting rolled right now. For example, you can be over here pressuring the Kiriko, right? You can be adding damage to the Zarya. Not that that'd be a great idea, but like doing something else here. Because what ultimately ends up happening, Sigma gets caught out of position. Yeah. I mean, it's tough because you did kill a Genji here, right? You killed Genji at the beginning, but like, Sigma gets burned down over here, gets no help. And the Sigma doesn't get any help from supports because the supports are getting jumped on by the DPS. Right? Bap and Kiriko are both now looking at the Sigma because of this. Alright, next point. Wait, I want to figure, how did we get here? Okay, so you jump back grip, so you like playing this spot. Alright, you get tagged, obviously you go back. Alright, you're looking for the Tracer, I think this is the right call. Right, bubble goes off, that's fine. Yeah. I don't know that you needed to rewind there. The Zarya has no way to actually kill you here. You're 123, right? The most damage that Zarya could do burst is 95 damage with 100 energy on the right click that lands directly, and she just fired the right click. So I would just blink. You don't need to just rewind there. But like knowing that number, like knowing that there's no way the Zarya could kill you there is really important. There's a long delay between the right clicks too. Alright, back to when we want to poke people, we really want to make them actually respect the damage that we're doing, okay? Like, this is theoretically a good spot, but you want to get as close as you possible before you start shooting. And, like, look how little damage you're going to do to the Kiriko, who doesn't know you're there, is not paying attention at all, right? And is focused on the front line. You did 25 damage. What was even the point of shooting? Like, the Kiriko doesn't even react to your shooting because of how little damage you did. Like, this is a big problem, right? Your engagement distance is just too far away and your aim is not on target. Like, from here, this is, like, not going to do good damage. Like, even if you're on target, you're still only going to do, I don't know, 75-ish. Like, get over here, then shoot her, right? Or even potentially drop, depending on the situation. Like, wait for the timing of when the Zarya's get committed, then drop. But, like, poking up here is not going to do a whole lot. If you're just chipping to eventually engage, that would be fine, but you're not even doing enough chip damage because she's not looking at you. She's not trying to shoot at you, so you can stay further out on the edge and make sure you land the clip. So someone slept, right? But obviously Tracer knows where you are. Venture pops ulti. Led Lucio, right? So this chipping is okay, right? Because obviously there's not a lot you can do right now, right? Now you got health again. So we're looking for, hey, how can we actually get something done? Now, at this moment in time, the Tracer's still marking you, so you're still kind of stuck here, which is unfortunate. But you see the Venture, you come back for this. Venture knocks your, what was it, more, is it Ashe? Knocked Ashe off the high ground? Yeah, knocks the Ashe off the high ground. Ashe has a good recovery, so you get back over here. So now, I have a lot more information and a lot more space than I had previously, okay? You heard the hook go off, you know Zarya got hooked. You know the DPS traded right now, so this is the opportunity for you to get something done. Like, Tracer thrives in these chaotic, low-number situations because when there's fewer players, it's less likely Tracer will get instantly killed. So now is the moment that you drop and get something done. Your hog is pushing into them, you can see it, you saw the trade in heroes, like, you should drop and get something done and go after the supports right now. Wasting that clip is a big problem. And now we wasted the second clip too. Like, it's not on target, and it was not on the supports. Like, the Lucio pops ulti here, but there's no reason for him to pop ulti. No one here is low, including the Lucio. See? Like, literally, none of them are low. The Lucio gets spooked by you, but at higher ranks, the Lucio will just fight you. Because if the Lucio sees you with a clip on him, he's going to think, this Tracer is not good, let me see if I can avoid using beat, and if I can kill the Tracer. And both the Kiriko and the Lucio will be on the same page, and they will both start dueling you to kill you. Like, they are not the prey, they are the hunter in that situation. It is really, really important to be able to land damage. So, beat gets, quote-unquote, forced. So, when we're fighting the Kiriko, right, Kiriko headshot does about 115 damage, right? Plus melee, that's 145, so we cannot stay close enough to her that she can headshot us and then insta-kill us. So if we take any damage that drops us below 145, we have to play the fight differently. As long as we stay out of melee range, she cannot one-shot us, so we can keep fighting even if we're at 116. But as soon as we drop below that, and we can take the headshot and die, then it's actually 113. It's like 112.5 or something like that. But 115 is easy to remember. So, we have the mini here, right? We have options. We have 2 blinks, right? About to be third blink and rewind. This is a pretty straightforward fight. So, the first thing you should think of is you don't want to get into the game of trying to do jiggle peek right here. Heroes that have semi-automatic weapons are always better against heroes that have automatic weapons when you jiggle peek. Because a semi-automatic weapon, like think of it like a shotgun, right? You peek briefly, you fire, and you go back. Peek, fire. Like Ramasher punches is a good example of this. But even an automatic weapon like Soldier, I need to step out and track you the entire time to be able to do any damage. Tracer's the same way. You do not want to get into this jiggle peeking contest with the Kiriko because she can headshot you at any time and you have no ability to deal the same damage. Just blink, get wide of the corner, apply damage pressure, right? Then from here, AD strafe and or blink juke, depending on how comfortable you feel with the situation, and then start working her down. But what happens from this engage? Right? So right now, beat is over. Like, you definitely should be fighting her at this moment in time, and you don't do anything. Like, you literally do 0 damage here. And, like, okay, great, you killed the Tracer here, but again, like, you did almost no damage to the Tracer. All you're doing is cleaning up the easiest of kills. Granted, the Tracer probably lives if you don't do it, but, like, it's so little value compared to, like, where you should be, like, as a Tracer, that it's just not very good, right? It's just not good enough. Not to, like, consistently win games. Alright, so it's okay tracking on the Kiriko. I don't know what you're aiming for this pulse. So, the Kiriko's in front of you. First of all, I don't know if you know Suzu's used or not. Maybe you do. So, the Kiriko's here, so you can stick the Kiriko. The Zarya's over here, but I'm not going to stick the Zarya, right? Because the Zarya's full health and she's a tank, and she has potentially bubbles that there's no way you're tracking right now. Why did you blink past her? Like, this is not close. This is not like, oh, straight into the Kiriko. You're definitely intentionally blinking past her, and then you're trying to stick the Zarya? Maybe you're trying to stick Lucio, but you didn't know exactly what the Lucio was. So, like, all in all, this is just not good pulse bomb play. It doesn't feel like you had any good plan here. Alright, now you know rewind, no blinks, and, like, you know, the fight's happening without you. Alright, so we're poking a little bit, you return, I think this is fine. You can go back and take high ground, which is good, right? And minimum denies it from the other team. Ooh. The more I watch this, I feel like the aim is actually a bigger problem than I expected. Yeah, I mean, that's 90% missing. Alright, Tracer rewound. Okay. So, yeah, think about pursuing here, because you obviously have rewind, so you can keep playing this. You have the Mega 2 if you need it. I would keep pressuring high ground. Like, why not? Your whole team is there. Okay, so Reaper is teleported to top. And as a hero with no verticality, you're like, what do I do? Okay, you realize, okay, Reaper's on top, and now you jump up here, and Reaper tags you, and now you're immediately in trouble, right? Because you're in one-shot territory. I think you realize that, and that's why you rewind right away. Well, actually, you don't rewind right away. You decide to look down, then you're like, oh shit, I'll rewind. So Reaper could easily have killed you here. I'm going to slow this down. I'm pretty sure he just whiffs this shot completely. Yeah, see? Like, this is a complete whiff of a shot. You could definitely have died there. You can't be fighting Reaper that close. But there's a problem because, like a stranger, like, you just can't take that fight. This is not a good situation. Like, in most open areas, you're so good against Reaper. But in this situation where you have to climb, like, the one possible ramp to get up is bad. Stare. Another example of, like, where you're shooting way too early. So first of all, you saw the Tracer here. You should definitely be fighting the Tracer. It's crazy that neither one of you seems to, like, react to each other. You heard it and you saw it on your screen. But you're shooting, Crosshair's not on anybody. Now you're holding it down, and Crosshair's not on anybody. And now we're finally on target as we basically run out of ammo. Right? Tracer's behind you, and Tracer somehow completely whiffs this on you. Right? Tracer's like, wait, what the heck? When your opponents can aim, the game is going to get so much harder. Like, this is, both of you are whiffing a ton here. So, note against Kiriko, you do not want to take close range fights against Kiriko, right? Because her kunais have a pretty large hitbox. The farther away you are, the better the chances. But if you're too far, your damage drop off is no good, right? At that point, you do too little damage, and she has the advantage. You want to look for a range roughly here, which is not going to consistently headshot you, and you're going to consistently do a lot of damage to her. This is roughly the range where you'd be expected to kill her in two clips without using Suzu or slow stepping, right? Like, this is a good range. This is a bad range, right? This is just inviting a headshot right here. And this range is too far now. Now I'm not going to do enough damage. But doing this right now, you should be dead. Right? Because look, you just jumped right into the Kiriko. Right here. She's gonna tag you. If she just melees, you're dead. Like, you're at 39. If she melees, you're dead. You're so lucky to not die here. And then you're still running around like, I wonder if I get the mega. No! What? This is crazy. Don't, just blink. You have to blink here. Like, I know that you're gonna, if you blink, you overshoot it, but you're gonna die here. There's no way you think you can jump all the way down there and not die. Right? The game is too competitive now at gold for you to be able to do stuff like this. At the old gold, yeah, absolutely. But at this level, it's just not gonna happen. Right? right? Just watch it. We're watching from her perspective right now, right? She's run right at you, right? Great, easy, and just casually moves on. Like, it's not hard. You have to respect your opponent's aim. So, they've capped right now. You decided you're gonna get out, which is okay. Well, actually, no, you should just keep contesting over here. I think close contest here is pretty much always a bad idea, but, you know, it is what it is. I guess everybody's gonna die anyway. Now, again, we're in a situation where it's tough playing Tracer here because you have no really good place to set up. Because, think about it. Where's the only place where you can actually get close range engages here? It's left side, right? Maybe you can play right side, but the problem is right side, if you drop, you're hard committed. There's no real good way to get away. It takes like multiple blanks to get the safety. So left side's the only safe spot, but it's so easy for them to push you out of left side, and there's only one place you can retreat to. So it's the map is too one-dimensional. Same thing for like King's Row, right? King's Row, also a bad Tracer map. Only the first point is like okay for Tracer. I think second point is like not good, and third point is atrocious for Tracer on both offense and defense. It's just, when the more one-dimensional the map is, like horizontally, the worse you're off. Because vertical mobility or vertical complexity doesn't help you very much as Tracer because you struggle to take vertical spaces yourself. This is a fun little game. I don't know why you're not taking the mini. Right? But this is an example where like things are good for Reaper, right? Even with good aim, Reaper has spread and damage fall off. Like, go ahead, take the mini, keep fighting here. Keep fighting, for sure, keep fighting. I don't know why you gave up on this so quickly. This is actually, weirdly enough, a good fight. He has no chance of one-tapping you. And you're going to burn out resources. Alright, so Reaper, you know, Wraith forms in, he pops ulti. And this is a really good example of easier heroes versus harder heroes, okay? Reaper, definitely an easier hero than Tracer. Everyone would agree with this. Reaper just wraithed in, pushed one button, and killed 3 heroes. Yeah, that's what it's like, right? You're not getting anywhere close to that level of value. And if you did, you'd have to play so much better than this Reaper would. That's just the reality of like the types of heroes that we choose to play, right? There's a very, very high skill ceiling Tracer. She scales way better than Reaper does. But the problem is you're going to run into stuff like this where like if you're not doing your job, eventually the DPS that are more consistent just kind of walk over your team with their ultimates. And you don't have that capability with Pulse Bomb. This is a great Bastion switch. They like do not react well to this at all, obviously, which, you know, makes sense because they have no time to. I would shoot here. Reaper does, or Bastion does 360 damage a second. You just instantly blow up the bubble, right? Blow up the bubble, kill the Reaper. But, yep. Great, kill the Zarya. I mean, there's not really a point in us watching the Bastion play. You play Bastion well. Bastion is like not an issue. Like, they're not paying attention at all. You kill the Bastion. Alright, great. Okay, I would say one moment right here. So you've already killed the Bastion here, so you're already in major advantage territory. You know the Ana's there, and I know you're trying to suppress, but the Ana has Sleep Dart, and you have to know that Ana has Sleep Dart. In which case, you're going to get slept here. Ana's Sleeping Bastion is something they learn in Bronze. They're not going to miss a Sleep Dart, and I don't want to get slept. So instead of shooting the Ana, go this way, and look down. And oh, look at these 2 heroes here. Even if Ana's pocketing them, I can easily outdamage Ana. Ana only heals for like 94, 95 health a second. I easily outdamage at 360. Just waste a 1 second to cross to the other side of this, and just blow up the heroes over here, right? Easy, easy, easy. But instead you get slept. Reaper's on top of you. Right, you go here, commit for the Ana, which is a reasonable trade. The Ana really should have killed you here. I think she misses a dart. Yeah, she misses a dart there. And then she also... no, she couldn't have melee killed you. But she misses a dart there. You shouldn't have been able to do it. But like, it was the best option you had. And they're able to cap. But you could have stopped it if you just went to the other side of the bridge. Like, that literally cost you the game. Alright, defense. So, we're setting up over here. One thing to think about is people learn. Right? If you play in certain areas in the previous round while on defense, they're gonna learn, hey, where do you like to play now? So you see, hey, Widow's here, she's contesting you right away. Your rewind is forced. I don't know why you're trying to be aggressive now without rewind. Just leave, right? Go out that way, go out this way, anything that's not trying to take another fight. I don't know why you're trying to take a fight right now. You have no rewind. And reminder, taking point blank fights with Kiriko is a really bad idea because it's super easy for them to headshot you. There's the headshot. Right? You go back. Looking for the Widow now. And you can hear it for the record. I can hear, I'm at 30% volume right now. I can hear the footsteps. So you have to be very careful here about this peak. Right? This is way too aggressive of a peak. Like, you went too far out, and you should have died right here. Yeah, also possibility you could die when you walked out that way. Now you're extremely low. I would honestly wait and get the Mega to the right. Because knowing the rest of the team is here, they can't possibly camp this Mega forever. And the Widow's not going to do it alone. So, Widow's low, but not going to be able to kill her. That's fine. You rotate. You're looking for the Widow again. There's the BAP. Okay, decent tag. Alright. So, just pure mechanics right here. So, you're playing very defensively here, which is okay. I don't know about dropping then. Because at this point, you guys didn't realize the Kiriko was going to heal them. I understand. It's fine. I would not never go straight across like that. So, Hanzo's killed too. So now we see, hey, look, their DPS are getting kills. That's a good clip on the Kiriko. Tracer's out now. I don't know about the rewind. The Tracer missed almost everything. Right? Like, I can feel it right away. If you're going to rewind, it would have been right away, like, as you're taking damage. But at this point, she's already finished her entire clip. See? She finished her whole clip, and she only did 50 damage. The Tracer is terrible. And this is what it feels like when you play against Tracers that can't aim. And you're like, wait, you can't aim? Great. I don't need to use rewind. I'm going to finish my reload, blink, and then try to kill you. You have to recognize how much damage am I actually taking here. If they whiff, go for the kill, right? Be ruthless. Bully them. She whiffs almost everything here. So also, I would know from earlier, right? I think we faced off against this Tracer as well. Remember when you're in the shuttle? The Tracer's not good. And I would know that all game. I'd be like, look, the Tracer can't aim. That's fine. Let me take the fight. I do want to take the fight now. Right? Because it's OT, so the supports can't come back and save the Tracer. They're going to walk forward to try to help the team out. I think this is like a rare time where I think you should have taken the duel. Because she missed so much, right? I would be like, look, 121. Right now, I know she's already basically full of finisher ammo. I finish my clip, reload, I start blinking as she fires her clip, shoot her with my clip. When she blinks, I blink with her to mirror match, right? Do all the damage, do what it is, right? See what we can get, maybe force rewind out. Right? And then if I force rewind out, I can go get the Mega, right? Come back, and I don't even need to use rewind, right? Or she pressures me, fine. Then I'll rewind, then I kill her. Or she goes to Mega, and then I go to point, and then I get to basically double team her team when she's not there. Like, there's so many avenues here that work out well once you realize she's missed her clip and you still have ammo. What? Did so much damage. Oh, you're already not full health? Yeah, you're already not full health, that's why. I was like, she definitely did not do that much damage. So, obviously, that Tracer's marking you over there. You decide to go backside, but, like, this is taking a long time. It's tough. I mean, your tank should not be dying here, but kind of is what it is. So you're playing for time here, which is the correct call, right? Wait for your tank to get back. You still got plenty of time. You do not want to lose health here, right? Any damage you do should be free, but tank's not going to make back in time? Okay, fine, right? So now we're just chilling. Gotta see. Did our tank spawn? Our tank did spawn, so we can contest here. This is nuts. Right? Be very purposeful about your ultimate, right? Who are you trying to pulse, and can they survive it? So Kiriko, for example, has Suzu. Does she have Suzu? Yes, she does. So she can survive it. Baptiste has Lamp. Does he have Lamp? He does have Lamp. He can survive it. That means none of these heroes are vulnerable to getting pulse right now. Not only the heroes can save themselves, they can save other people. So this is a terrible timing for Pulse. You really don't want to be popping Pulse right now. Wait for your team to engage, for them to get distracted, to force out some cooldowns, then you Pulse. But trying to force this Pulse right away is way too impatient. Right? Pulse also whiffs, and the Kiriko Suzu's herself. Right? Suzu's herself. Baptiste didn't even pop Lamp. Alright, good damage on the Kiriko, right? That's perfectly happy. I'm perfectly happy with that shot. Yeah, not a good angle. If someone is standing in that doorway, you would never want to do what you just did, which is this. You should blink in, then jiggle peek, right? To try to bait the shot briefly if you have to, then try to engage, right? Or from here, blink in through this sliver to get on their side flank. Preferably double blink if you have it. Like, all these nuances about taking duels is really important. And I don't know if you play tactical shooters, but a lot of the experience that I've gained from gaining small advantages in those 1v1s comes from tactical shooters. Because if you play a game like Counter-Strike, okay, where you die, Counter-Strike or Valorant, where you die in literally less than a second, understanding how to use a corner to give you an extra quarter second is a huge deal, right? It's a huge deal. Overwatch, like this stuff isn't as important for many heroes because the time to kill is so long. When time to kill is 3 or 4 seconds, it's less important to get a quarter second like extra time compared to tracking better. Like Apex is a good example of this too, right? Where Apex has relatively medium length time to kill, and so tracking is really important. Burning down resources is important, similar to Overwatch. But like as Tracer, you go back to being a very twitchy game because of how little health you have. Back to why are we shooting people from this far away? Like if your goal is to chip a little bit, fine. But is this the time to chip? Your Doomfist is in. If your Doomfist is all the way over here, yeah, go ahead and chip. But if your Doomfist is in, now we're committed. Go. Like I want to see you, for example, double blink over here and then engage the Kiriko. Because as soon as you do that, think about the counter, the action and the counter here. If you double blink right here and blow up the Kiriko, she immediately Suzus or Swift Steps or both away, and you forced out something. But this clip right here does nothing, which means what happens, right? This is not so good. Now she uses Suzu anyway. I don't think it's related to you though, or at least it should have been related to you. Yeah, I think she does it in relation to the punch. She thought she was going to get punched. Right. You're very close. This is not the place it's going to be. Again, we've said this over and over and over again. With Kiriko, you never want to be running around a corner close to her like this. You will get obliterated, which is exactly what happens here. Right? She's like, cool, you want to take this fight? Right? You're super close and you just died. She didn't even melee you. She could have meleeed you, but she actually hit you with 2 kunais and you didn't react. You had rewind there for the record. Right here, rewind. Reaction's got to be better. Right? Like, it's tough. Playing Tracer is a hard hero. But we see like over and over again, if you want to get to Platinum consistently, like Plat 3 plus, you need to play like a Platinum level player, and we're seeing those misses constantly around like the mechanics, less so the game sense, right? There's still some of that, but like the mechanics in particular, like being able to take the duels, survive, apply damage consistently, like stuff like that is just not happening. Alright, they're running Torb again, which frankly you should have suspected. Suspected / you could have seen it coming. So go back to, if they run X, I want to run Y. Let's think about this. Could we have seen the Torb come out? Oh wait, yeah, we're not even big killers yet. Right, so we watch, right, we're sitting here, waiting. Right, I see the Torb right now. And now you might decide, hey, look, I'm going to play Pharah, and I'm going to have the whole round to do it, and I'm going to get ult charge, because I see that there's a Pharah, or see there's a Torb. That's the importance of scouting. Right? Don't underestimate how important that is. If you feel like you want to play Pharah against Torb, you should do everything you can to find out if they're playing a Torb before the game starts. By the way, you got tagged and heard the turret right here. You could have chosen to just go home, like rewind and go home and go Pharah if you didn't feel comfortable with this. I'm not saying you should, or rather, it's up to you how you want to play it, but if you do think in your head, look, I don't want to play against Torb as Tracer, especially not on a map that otherwise is not good. Like, there's certain plenty of maps where Torb is really bad against Tracer because it's such a Tracer-friendly map to begin with, right? So I think a lot of Flashpoint maps are like that. It's like, I don't really care about the turret because there's so many ways for me to engage that the turret's not a big deal. But Gibraltar is just way too linear. It's like really hard for you to get engaged, right? This is like a bad shot trade right away. Like, think about, what did you just do? You just used 1, right, 2 blinks and a rewind in exchange for what? 40 damage maybe? This is terrible resource trading. Right, now the Brig's on you, okay, obviously. You're like, hey, you're chilling, which is fine. Honestly, it's good that the Brig came out against you. Going back in though was insane. Like, the Brig is clearly at the corner, there's also a Cassidy here, and you have no rewind. Why did you blink in? You should be dead right now. If the Brig doesn't flail you there, you die. Like, the Cassidy easily kills you there. Even if he doesn't shoot you, he just flashbangs and kills you. The Brig here is automatically like flailing you away because she gets spooked. But there's no reason for this. Like, she should just swing and then shield bash you. You have no blinks and you have no rewind. Like, you should be so dead right now. Anyway, the reason why I'm harping on this again is think about how bad the opponent is right now, and think about how good they're going to be when you get better, which is why you need to build better habits and respect enemy players more, right? Like, think about it. When you're in Plat 3, which I think you will get there, right? For sure. I think you're on the right track. But when you get to Plat 3 one day, every Plat 3 player you play, at tank or DPS or support, would carry this game so hard. They would win like literally like 75-80% of these games at the level they're at right now. That's how much better they are than the people that are currently in this lobby. So, like, for perspective. Yeah, tough angle. So, honestly, this whole area is basically locked down because of the turret, right? You can't go this way, and you can't go this way. So, go underneath, right? Move the cart, go this way, pressure this way. Alternatively, go server room, which is not an area we've seen you play at all. Go server room and control this side. You have other options here. Or, if you had a lot of time, you can go over here, right? Come back up, swing up, go this way, and then blink over here and then control blue blocks. But I think that trying to go this way and force this over and over again is no good. Granted, this actually ends up being a good timing. The Torb should have heard you coming. Like, if I'm the Torb, I definitely hear you coming, and then I just repel you right here, and then you're screwed. And you waste this whole rotation. But fortunately, no one's paying attention to you, which is great. And again, let's look. Who are you aiming for after you kill this turn? You see everybody, you got time to reload, look. Aim for Squishy. Aim for the Ana, for example. Ana would be great here. Or Cassidy, if you're worried, like, look, I want to get rid of the person who can suppress me first. Either one would be fine. Who do I aim for? Nobody. What, shooting the Diva right now? This is insane. You don't even do any damage to the Diva at this range. Like, this is a whole clip wasted. This is like your surprise clip that you have to get maximum value out of, and you get nothing out of this. Again, Ana's too far away, right? If you're going to follow up, blink first and shoot the Ana as you fall. You're not going to do any damage at that range. Once again, we're shooting the Ana, but you're too far away, right? Look, the Ana's jumping. This is even easy, right? Ana's at 183. Congratulations, you did 40 damage to the Ana. And you lost 140. These are just bad traits, like, over and over and over again. You just can't get enough damage in. And, like, that's not an aim problem. Like, you literally are just too far away. You need to, like, fight from much, much closer. So, you're at 107 health. You hear the Cassidy here. I think you're actually trying to find the Cassidy. You hear the Cassidy right there, right? Here's the big footstep. So you're looking for it. You're thinking about it, like, can I get the mini or not? So my perspective here is, if the Cassidy maybe isn't aware, because my Journey Queen's pushing, if the Cassidy isn't aware, I will try to fight this. If I see the Cassidy turn and look at me, I immediately hit rewind. Because a headshot and or flashbang is an instant death for me. And I do not want to die right now. So the second you see this, I hit rewind. Why would I risk it? At a minimum, blink to the left. At a minimum, blink to the left. But otherwise, I think rewind is the correct call. You get flashed, and then you die. Can't happen. Right? Can't happen. Like, you're struggling right now against gold level Cassidys. Platinum level Cassidys are a whole tier above these players. Alright, so come out as Pharah. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about Pharah other than to point out, like, the general gist of it. So we're looking here to apply consistent sustained pressure to the enemy team, and we're looking for moments where we can finally dive and come in. But with the tank dead, there's not a lot we can do right now. It's unlikely that we're going to get a kill, so we just want to play safe. Do not get staggered. Most important thing, do not get staggered. But your tank is dead, as a reminder. Your tank is dead. It's just, like, there's 4 people here with the tank, and there's just you 3. Like, this is not going to happen. This is, like, yeah, it's fine. Like, yeah, your tank is dead, it's fine. Just back out. Right? Be smart. Try to farm ulti. This is insane. Number 1 rule of Pharah, never just flow in the open like this when they have a hit scan. This is insane. You should die. Every single time this happens to you, you will die at higher ranks. Like, I think he actually misses the second shot. Yeah, he hits it, but yeah, you're so low at 12 health, you should absolutely die. But at a minimum, let's reset and think, okay, I will not do that again for the rest of the 1 minute and 36 seconds of this game, okay? I cannot just float in the open like that against the hit scan. I have to be peeking over here, right? Get like a weird angle with it not looking at me, whatever it ends up being. I just cannot just hover in the air and expect not to die. Alright, none of this matters. The fact that you're popping all this is great. Like, it's fine. We just reset. We're all staggered right now. I don't really know why you're conking, but... I don't even know if I want to explain how Pharah works. it's going to take too long. But short answer is, whenever you use Concussive, don't use it for damage, especially since it got nerfed recently, so it doesn't do damage anymore, thank God. It does like 5 damage now. but you can't use the like really confirmed kills anymore. So you should use concussive to knock people out of position, A, or B, make it easier for you to land a direct rocket. Those are pretty, or 3, use it to move yourself in a way that's helpful, right? This concussive right here does none of those things. Your team is clearly not ready to follow up on this kill. What is the point of this concussive? You even fired where the Ana was, where she's obviously not going to be because you just fired a concussive there. So now, granted, it's not like this, use of your 7-second cooldown is going to change anything, but like that's an example. Like you don't look like you're comfortable playing Pharah because your abilities are being thrown away for nothing. So, funny story. As a Pharah player, the second that this happened, I would actually engage. So you still have your right click here to move forward, right? So I would immediately right click. I would commit here on the brig because I heard the D.Va go, but I heard the D.Va go on somebody else, and I hear missiles activated. So I suspect there's actually a good chance that I can actually push this brig right now. Brig, if I stand here, what can she do? Nothing. She just used her flail. That's literally the only thing that she can do against me. I commit here and I try to get a kill because she's really far out of position. Hopefully you look at that. She's really far out of position. Now there's a good chance the D.Va's going to be able to come back and like help blah blah blah. But like you have comp coming in 3 seconds. I think this is a reasonable chance here to try to get something done. Alright, so resetting again. Team is ready, right? Hey, look, your Echo's dead, but your tank's still down there, so just chill, right? We're not looking for anything serious. Do not commit here. Do not commit. So, you jump here, which is no good. There's no reason to jump right now. Because if you jump, it takes you longer to come down. And the longer you're in the air, the more likely it is you're going to get shot. So stay on the ground, and then if you take damage, just back away from the edge. So you jump here, you get tagged, and then you die. And I'm going to show you how easy this kill is for the Cassidy. Like, he missed like 3 shots on you too. It's so easy to kill Pharah who does not know like how to move. This, you cannot float above heroes like this and not expect to get obliterated. It just can't happen. Right? You just need to respect the opponent's aim. So important. Alright, 50 seconds left. Echo gets a kill. Okay, turret's dead. Okay, so we are in excellent position. We're in excellent timing, okay? Good time for us to be engaging. What are we aiming for? A squishy, right? Especially Diana. Why is your first rocket at the D.Va? Don't fire at the first person you see, right? Hold it. Look, hey, who is the best target here? Go for the best target. Don't shoot the tank here. You're still shooting the tank. Shoot the Ana. Like, you gotta shoot the Ana here, or maybe the Cassidy. But because of the fact that both of them look really committed, I would probably boost over here and try to kill the Ana. But if you wait too long, you see now the Cassidy's rolled, his ammo's filled up, he's reset, and he knows you're there. So now is a bad time to commit on the Ana. Neither one of these rockets is on target, which is bad, because rockets are a very splashy weapon. Like, at minimum, you should have gotten out here and fired. But the second you hear beat go off, I would drop here, fire a rocket, conk into them, and then keep fighting. Because you have 885 health right now. So drop here, conk in, I'm still going to have 500 something health, no problem. Right? Definitely more than enough time for me to get 2 melee, two directs and a melee. Like, you're being so defensive right now, but like, that was the moment. Like, this was the moment for you to go in. Also, like, I don't even know why you used right click right here, because you didn't need to. There's no strong, or like, you had this perfectly good position where you were at blue box. So like, all the things about your Pharah are like super inefficient. I could like talk about this segment for like 20 minutes if I wanted to, because there's actually a lot here that I could talk about. But like, I don't know if you seriously want to play Pharah, so it's like, there's no point in me like harping on it otherwise. It's good direct there. But one thing to think about is, why am I rotating all the way over here when there is an active fight going on out here? You know? Like, I don't really understand. Maybe this is part of like Tracer mentality, but you just need to hold the door, right? Hold the door, demech the D.Va, you're good. Where are you going? Right? Here comes the brig. If you're right here, the brig's dead. You just kill the brig. You break her shield, right? And or kill her, and she's dead. But instead you're still rotating over here. You're going after the Venture right now, but the Venture isn't affecting the fight at all. Why are you here demeching the D.Va? Right? You're killing the brig. Killing Cassidy. Any of these heroes that matter. Like, you shouldn't be going after people who are responding who aren't even at the fight yet. Like, you're giving the Venture value when they could have had no value whatsoever. All right, back to this can't happen. Your instinct cannot be let me immediately boost up over the point. Like you're not helicopter gunship Farah. You can't just sit there in the air and not expect to get blown up. You play here. You use sound. When I'm coming on this door, okay, I know Cassie's over here. Great. I look for him. I fire one rocket to chip him. I go over here. I chip him again with another rocket. Do I know if he's rolled out? Doesn't have roll. I immediately boost in, confirm the kill. That's the way you do it, right? Or you could spam from above if you want to, but hovering up there is like the worst possible world, like option. Like you're like this rocket behind you is aimed at nobody. Maybe you thought the Venture is there, but the Venture's not even close. That rocket is also not on target. You fired the rocket at your jump point, and the Cassie just kills you. Right? It's just a walk in the park for the Cassidy. Like his tracking aim is bad, as we saw in Tracer, but his flick aim is good. And with that, that's the end of the game. Okay. So, recapping. One, I think that we identified a lot of mechanical gaps that you have on Tracer, right? Whether or not it be your aim or your blink usage, I think a lot of problems there. I think number two, there's still issues with your engagement timing and engagement directions. I think it's probably above average for your level, but still, I think there's a lot of weakness that can be shored up pretty easily around who you choose to target and when you choose to target them. And number three, respecting the enemy's aim. You know, just not dying to obvious things. Don't blink at people. Don't run at people without dodging. It's just a terrible idea, and you die on all heroes, other than tank. You know, you need to not just expect that they're going to miss you because they won't miss you. And that can be part of the problem, right? We drop you back into like a Plat 5 game, and you're getting crushed because people suddenly just have way better aim than what you're used to. And there's enough volatilities that sometimes you're going to drift up into Plat 5 even when you're reserved. That's the reality of your peak level play is never sustained. Okay? Whatever your peak is not what you can play in all the time. It's like, hey, some luck. Some games just get a little luckier and you win some more. Or some days you're just playing the game of your life. But you can't play the game of your life every single game. We need to develop good long-term habits, right, around how you should take fights and good mechanical skill and muscle memory in order to improve over time. All right, I'm going to hold there. Hopefully this is helpful.